Morning SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Kortensia.
And I'm also the weather boy for today, so let's get right to it. It's going to be partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of showers, a high of 84 degrees and a low of 72 degrees. I'm loving the evenings. I'm loving the 70s.
Yeah.
You?
It's beginning to get a little hot, so I wouldn't say I'm really.
Oh, man. All right, we'll see what we can do to cool you up today. All right? So, breakfast person, are you?
Yeah, unless I'm on a diet.
I saw what you had for breakfast. I won't even mention what you had for breakfast this morning. I will not mention. That's going to be our secret, all right? But you can only imagine if I'm having this reaction. Yeah. As for me, I'm in no position to talk because my breakfast consists of a hot cup of tea.
And that's it.
And then I go home for brunch.
Oh.
Right, so cheers. All right.
Yeah. So now we have the latest in local news. King Astro reflects on Sugar Mass 50 Calypso Finals. This from the Win FM Media. No stranger to the stage and certainly not a stranger to the crown, Mr. Oscar King Astro Brown reflected upon the night of December 30th, 2021, when he captured the National Carnival Sugar Mass 50 Calypso Monarch title for the third time. He said, and I quote, "Each time is always different, but this one for me is without a doubt the most special of all occasions. Sometimes I have difficulty remembering the first two times that I won, but this one will always be etched deep in my memory. Listening to the results, you're always on edge because you never know how it can go. But my motto has always been, entertain the crowd, give the crowd a good show, and most of the times you will find favors with the judges," end quote. And I'm happy that they saw me as the eventual winner, and it is really a satisfying feeling. Sugar Mass 50 years, or when I am gone, people will be remembering the 50th anniversary. Being the reigning monarch, King Astro shared his plans for the year and his excitement for the return of the Leeward Islands Calypso competition. The monarch said, and I quote, "Well, I am preparing for Culturama because, as you know, I love this thing so much that I do 2 competitions per year. So there's hardly any rest period. But in the meantime, you have to come up with new and fresh ideas, novel ideas to keep yourself sounding fresh and good," end quote.
Yeah.
So
congratulations to him. Yeah, we had the pleasure.
And he's working hard.
We had the pleasure of interviewing him not too long ago, and he was such a gracious guest, and it's glad to see him. I love his wardrobe, by the way. I need to find out who his designer is.
Not turkey killers.
Right. Oh, boy. We're moving on that note to the second story for today. All right, this one from SKN 5. St. Kitts Nevis Disposal removes garbage in the Limekeel area. Despite numerous warnings of cease and desist to persons who dump their waste on the side of roadways, the unhealthy practice persists, and the St. Kitts Nevis Disposal, SCANDIS, has embarked on a cleanup campaign. Old cars, tires, plastics, and other household waste were some of the items removed from the side of the roads in the Limekeel area, which has become an eyesore to many. Business Development Coordinator at SCANDIS, Shalise Lewis, revealed that the company is currently on a community cleanup drive that would see the removal of solid waste from around the islands. She told SKN Vibes News, quote, "We saw the need to clean up the area. As you see, there was a lot of illegal dumping, and that was going on here," end quote. The problem of illegal dumping has long become a major issue for the Solid Waste Management Corporation, health officials, and the government. But recently, they were able to nab several persons for throwing their waste on their roadside rather than taking it to the Connery landfill.
You have to be nabbed to follow the rules.
That's what I'm saying. St. Kitts is so small. Connery is just a ways away from everybody. At least they nabbed them. Connotation humorous a little bit, but you were nabbed. Okay, don't get nabbed, everybody. Do what you're supposed to do.
We continue now with our third story in the local news. Nevis Cooperative Credit Union gives back to 2 members as it celebrates its 50th anniversary. This is from MMS SKN. As part of the Nevis Cooperative Credit Union, NICU Limited year-long celebration activities being held to mark its 50th anniversary, members of the 50th Anniversary Monthly Care Packages Subcommittee on Friday, February 25th, presented care packages to 4 of the institution's long-standing members. Care Packages Subcommittee Coordinator Mr. Mara Johnson pauses with one of the NCCU earliest clients, Mr. Adolf Liebert, at his home on Craddock Road after she made the presentation of the care package. Ms. Julia Chiverton, the Member Services and Human Resources Manager, stated, and I quote, "We are celebrating 50 years of our operations, and as we mark our 50th anniversary, our aim is to give back to our members using various categories in our membership," end quote. The Charlestown-based credit union, which is the oldest in the Federation, was registered on July 25, 1972. According to Ms. Chiverton, 50 care packages will be given out in the year-long give back to its members exercise at four care packages per month for the anniversary month of July, and 6 care packages will be distributed.
I love the significance of 50.
I was thinking the same thing whilst I was reading.
Yeah, it's giving back to the community. So congratulations on the anniversary, and thank you for giving back.
Oh. Ooh, look at this. Sugar Girls in a row with a second consecutive win. So congrats to the Sugar Girls. Congrats to our Sugar Girls after rolling over Curacao with a 5-1 scoreline on Tuesday, the 22nd February. The Sugar Girls totally dominated the Trinbago Girls on Sunday, the 27th February, with a scoreline of 7-2. The Sugar Girls will next engage El Salvador on Tuesday, the 1st of March. So we're going to win. Well, yes, that was yesterday, so I wonder if we won.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Talk about a blowout, 7-2. Okay.
We be bad. We really spicy.
It doesn't be 8-10 when we're on here, though. All right, that being said, you're watching Good Morning SKN. We will be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission. If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We now move on to the latest in regional news. Preventable cancers on the rise in Barbados. This from the Caribbean Media Corporation. The Barbados National Registry, BNR, says colorectal cancer and other preventable cancers are on the rise in the country. BNR said that the cancer of the colon and rectum, often grouped as colorectal cancer, is the 3rd leading type of cancer globally and continues to be the case in Barbados as well. Additionally, it is the 3rd leading cause of cancer-related deaths. It said the number of cases diagnosed locally rose from 124 in 2008 to 163 in 2015, and that there were 66 deaths from this type of cancer in 2008, and 98 deaths were recorded in 2015. The World Cancer Research Fund, WCRF, suggests that inactivity, lack of dietary fiber and whole grains, reduced calcium, insufficient fruit and dairy intake, increased consumption of red and processed meat, in addition to being overweight and consuming alcohol, increases the risk of colorectal cancer. In Barbados, colon cancer occurs mostly in the 75 and older age group, and the BNR says it is important that family members and caregivers are aware of the implications of diet choices, as well as the symptoms of colorectal cancer. Better health.
Better
We
health.
need to take care of our health.
Herbivore, straight.
For
Yeah,
now.
just bush and slim fast. Now for the international news. Thousands evacuate worst Australian floods in decades. This from NPR. Tens of thousands of people have been ordered to evacuate their homes by Tuesday, and many more had been told to prepare to flee as part of Australia's southeast coast are inundated by the worst flooding in decades. Scores of residents, some with their pets, spent hours trapped on their roofs in recent days by a fast-rising river in the town of Lismore in northern New South Wales state. And dozens of cars were trapped on a bridge in the nearby town of Woodburn over Monday night, with both bridges approaches submerged. Up to 50 people were rescued from the bridge early Tuesday, officials said. Woodburn State Emergency Services Commander Ashley Slapp told Australian Broadcasting Corp, and I quote, "We have no capabilities to get them off in the dark, so we just had to make sure they bunkered down, and we went in the morning and got them all out," end quote. The floodwaters are moving south into New South Wales from Queensland State in the worst disaster in the region since what was described as a once-in-a-century event in 2011. New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet said that there had been 1,000 rescues in his state by Tuesday and more than 6,000 calls for help.
That's so devastating.
Very.
I have to say, looking at the images, it makes it all more real. So I'm hoping that they're able to rescue more people and that we don't report on more disaster later on. All right, with that being said, everyone, that's all that we have for the latest right now, but not all that we have for the show. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, Contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who can support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank. Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Tres Ange is a relatively new and innovative laser and body care center here in St. Kitts and Nevis. They offer a variety of spa services with a special focus on medical aesthetics. Heather Jacobs is the owner and manager of Tres Ange. Heather studied at the International Career College in Barbados. There, she received a certification in the field of general and medical aesthetics. Today, Heather is here to tell us how she continues to adapt and transform her business. Welcome, Heather, to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning,
Welcome.
Jeremy and Kortensia.
Nice to have you.
First off, am I saying the name correct?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Your French is
Just making sure.
Oui, oui.
So can you elaborate on the name of your business for us?
When I came up with the name, it was more to give it a thing of being ageless.
Okay.
So we use the French name, which is Saint-Georges, which is
Okay.
ageless. And
Lovely.
we basically the theme behind the entire business profile.
Oh, okay.
I love that because given that you're into medical aesthetics, we're talking about cosmetics and all of that other thing, right? So basically the fountain of youth coming out in your practice.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So in terms of your progression to laser skin treatments, what can you tell us about their benefit and what you provide?
Well, mainly I provide what is the most sought after at the business is hair removal, facial hair removal, especially for females. As there are some females who are suffering from hormonal issues, and because of that, they tend to be a growth of unwanted hair in the face area. So that is what I really focus on. There are other treatments that are available, but more so not so much from our local side, because it's more suited for persons of the other Caucasian race. So I think we are blessed with our natural melanin and our skin doesn't age as well as quickly as other races.
Yeah.
So it's not really sought after for locals, but for locals, more so hair removal.
Hair removal. What other types of laser skin treatment do you offer?
I also do, the tattoo removal. If you have a tattoo that you need off, that
Yeah,
you put
I
on
see
this
that.
guy name or this girl name and you don't want it.
I know there was a story.
We have most somebody's name that they need to remove. So it's a process, it's not a one-time process. It takes a series of treatment, and I always tell persons it's even more painful than actually getting a tattoo.
Wow.
So you have to have some patience with it.
Oh, okay.
Also, and there's also you can also do skin rejuvenation, which is sort of helping or activating the collagen in the skin to give the skin a much younger look.
Okay.
As well as I'm just delving into hair removal. Just trying that out now.
Oh, really? Okay. That's great. Scar removal. I think we can benefit from that. That's okay. 'cause
Those little ones we got when we fell out the tree and
Of
stuff.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I'm
just
pressing all that
remove
stuff.
them.
From the
Yeah.
hyperpigmentation ones, those ones, we're just practicing that one, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's great. That's a good question as well. Can you tell us about the traditional spa services that you provide?
Okay, well, for me, I offer the same waxing, massaging, nail care, and skin care. But I have always, when I open the business, to try and do it from a point of care and not so much luxury. So our treatments are designed for results. So when you leave, you're going to have a result, not just, you came in and relaxed, but we want to know that a few months from now you call me and tell me, Heather, my skin looks so good or something like that. So, but our most popular thing is the skincare. I have developed a reputation for being this miraculous esthetician when it comes to skincare. I've been called magician. Some person think I'm a doctor because of the results. And over the years, I really do enjoy my facials. I really do my skincare. I started and I partnered with Dermalogica, which is a skincare product I use. I was introduced to them in 2012 during my training. And I have since used them. They have been amazing, the results. And it's like, for me, it's something I enjoy every day. I could do facials every day, all day. If you call me like midnight until you want a facial, I'm there. That's how much I love doing my facial. I really, really do. And when persons call back and say, Heather, my skin looks so good, I'm really enjoying my skin. Because for me, it was about having you to enjoy your natural, whatever your natural is. Not to have the perfect skin, but to more appreciate what you have. And that's for me is what I really sought after. Even for your nails, to appreciate your natural nails. I know we like the acrylics and the pretty nails and everything, but I'm all big on natural.
My
So
secret's
for me-
out.
So for me, having a natural nails and appreciating them first before we actually go into the whole acrylics and all of that first. So that's for me, enjoying, appreciating your natural self.
I love that.
So how do you achieve your vision statement to inspire confidence and a sense of well-being through skin and body care?
Because I find that a lot there was like things of self-esteem, and everybody always want to have, oh, my toes are not pretty, my skin is not pretty, my body is not that. But it's about, as I say, appreciating what you have naturally, so that and enhancing it in a natural way. Do it that way. I know there's so many things, in the cosmetic world, where you can go and get whatever you want. If you want more boobs, you get it. If you want this, you get that. But it's about, for me, appreciating what you have naturally and working with it. So you can feel good about yourself.
All right, speaking of working with things, let's talk about the work environment for a little bit. If I were to walk into your business, what would the ambiance be like?
It's calm, it's serene, it's always the smell of all the oils that you normally get at the spa. Always a warm welcome, and we welcome you to Trust and Search. And first thing we do is a consultation. Whatever service you're having is a consultation as to find how should we treat you, and what treatment you want. Sometimes persons have a vision of what they think they need. When I do a consultation, I have to go a different direction to where they want me to go. As like, for instance, everyone thinks they have oily skin. And when I do a consultation, I'm like, no, your skin is not oily. You're probably having a breakout now because of whatever infection, but it's not that. Your skin is oily. So I have to guide them along the way as to where I want them to go, or where I think they should go with the skincare.
Well, that's why you're the professional. Indeed.
Wow.
So we'll be back to talk with you a little more after this. Stay tuned.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might broke up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by Heather Jacobs, the owner and manager of Tressange. Heather, you have some products here on display. Can you describe them for us?
Yes, and what I have here with me today is what you generally would need for your daily routine to ensure that you have the best possible skin that you can have. And your first thing is always to start with your cleanser. If you wear makeup, then you'll also need something to remove your makeup. And always, don't go to sleep with your makeup. If you're too tired to have a little few drinks, then you don't have time, you can always use wipes. If you don't have time to go to the sink and wash off the whole thing. But you start with your cleanser first.
Okay.
And then after you have cleansed your face, then you do your toning, which is sort of to put back moisture into your skin after you have cleansed your face, also to set back your pH of your skin. From that, you have your moisturizer and sunblock. I am not someone who generally would do 3 or 4 different steps. So for me, I just mix my moisturizer with my sunblock and I do one application. For me, that is a lot easier.
Okay.
Then there should also be a scrub as well. But I find persons would always say to me that they use scrubs like every day, and you should not, because it starts to make your skin a little sensitive. It's as if you're scrubbing your skin every day, which is just too much. So I always recommend a scrub at least maybe twice a week.
Okay.
Sometimes persons would come, and if they have really bad breakout and I see that they need to do it more than that, I'll recommend it for at least once or maybe 2 to 3 times a week, maybe for 2 weeks, and after that you go back to at least once or twice a week. So that's generally. And what I do also is you look at it and you're scary. I have to do all that in the morning.
That's what I was thinking.
And that's where the consultation comes in. Because if I speak to you and I realize you're someone who will say to me, well, all I do is wash my face with my soap in the bath. I'm not going to recommend that you have all this. I'll at least give at least 2 products, which for me, you must have be a moisturizer and your cleanser. Those are 2 things that you should always do at all times. Cleanse your face, and then you put back the moisture. Because the moisturizer also acts as a protector or a barrier between your skin and the element. So whether if you need to add the moisturizer, it will depend on whether you have oily skin or dry skin. If you have dry skin, I'm going to give you a moisturizer. That's going to add moisture to the skin. And if you have dry skin, I'm going to give you oily skin, I'll give you oil-free moisturizer. I will not add any oil to your skin because that's one of the biggest things. I don't like my face shiny, I don't want my face, and it makes me hot, and I'm getting sweaty and all of that. So there are oil-free moisturizer that we have at the business that can be used.
I see one is clay and one is ultra common. Is this for sensitive skin?
Yeah, that's for sensitive skin. And this we normally give for persons with oily skin. And also can be used, multitask it as a mask. So you keep it on your face for at least 10 minutes extra in the evening, more so. And it can be used as a mask.
Okay.
So I normally recommend that a lot because that is not to skip buying a mask.
I'm learning so much about skincare.
So don't use the soap alone, okay? You can at least 2 products.
I wouldn't say use soap. We always what's best for you. If you have been using soap for all your life and you think you're happy with your soap and the way your face look from your soap, stick with your soap. That's what we do.
I'm trying to get Jamie ageless, so I'm just trying to get him away from the soap.
She's hinting that I'm aging. Okay. All right. So tell us about your professional training in Barbados.
Okay. I went and I did training. I did both my courses together because I wanted to shorten my time overseas as much. At the time, my son was still in high school, so I didn't want to be away too long. So I did both courses together, which was general aesthetic and the medical aesthetics. Honestly, it was a really, really good experience. It was an eye-opener. And I think one of the things I really enjoyed was that my instructor was a doctor. So we got a really extensive course on anatomy. So we felt like medical students to with her. So it was really, really experience. It had its challenges as everyone else go to study, but the training I got, both practical and theory, was amazing. And to this day, 10 years later, still carries me, and I'm still trying to start everything I could learn along the way in the business and update myself because skincare change every day. So what I also do is to try, like every year, I try to add a new service, a new machine. I'm a gadget freak when it comes to skincare. Any new skincare thing come out, I'm there. I try it, and I order it, and I use it. So I keep the business updated by at least every year by a new machine.
Nice.
So at least I can have something new to offer to the customer or to enhance the service.
That's great. I see the evolution. I have to ask, though, from the perspective of a man, and I'm telling you this traditionally, and she knows exactly where I'm coming from. Skincare is not something that a lot of men generally would take into consideration, but you mentioned that your clients are men as well. So with your experiences with them, have you seen any resistance, or is it that you think that that's changing in St. Kitts and Nevis?
It is changing. There are a lot of guys now who are really into it, and what is happening that the females, because they're so involved now, are sending the males, and it's like, I'm sent here, so I'm coming to I'm just following instructions. And when they are finished, they always appreciate it and like, when can I come? I can have my next one. Because this, it's not as feminine as everybody said. And what I try not to do is to not intimidate guys when they come in to go through the same process that I would go to a female.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you want to hear about the whole thing. You just want to get your face done and you're out. So I try not. I have a different approach when it comes to female and male clients.
If shopping were like that, we'll be on point.
So, Heather, we noticed that you left the corporate world for your entrepreneurial pursuits. Tell us, what is that like?
Up this morning, last night I said to my husband, like, really? Anyone who think about being self-employed got to be crazy. It has been, it has its good days and it has its bad days. There were some days like, gosh, I'm tired of this. Why don't you shut up shop and go home? And the other days like, oh gosh, I love this so much. I don't want to go anywhere. But I think it's to appreciate both. The good and the bad. You learn from the bad and you enhance the good. But I really enjoyed it.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
And this myth of not you can set your own time and you can do this, it's a myth. It's not true.
It's not true?
No.
Oh, so people still control some of your time somewhere?
Yeah, you're basically employed 24 hours. When I work corporate and I close the office and I go home, that was it.
Okay.
And now most of my thinking at night. So at night I'm there like thinking. Midnight, 1 o'clock, I'm up thinking of different things I can do still. So it's like, for me, it's a myth. It's not easy. Okay. It's not as good as everybody says it is. And you have to be very good on your finances. You have to control your finances, manage your finances. But to be in business for 10 years, and even after the whole COVID restrictions and all those that affected spas more so, you have to find a way to survive in this time. But it was really a challenge, and it's still a challenge, but we're getting there now, so I'm hoping for better things at least going through the year.
No, that's good. That's good.
All right. We understand that you have an International Women's Day giveaway. What can you tell us about that?
Okay, well, my colleague Cleo from the Cause for Bless, she and I were looking at how can we assist anyone during this time. Because we know some persons had some really, really bad time and still going through it. Yeah. So we decided to, how can we help? So Cleo and I decided to give away 2 of her planners along with some services from the spa, which is one is a full body massage and the other, I think the third is massage and a facial. My more sought after facials. And we have it, so we're asking persons to just, if you know anyone, just nominate someone. It could be a stranger, anyone you know, and send us for your WhatsApp or Facebook a little paragraph saying why you think this person is worthy or really needs some assistance and some comforting and some pampering at this time. And then we see which one is the best one, and then we choose from that, and we offer the person a planner to help them. And we're going to talk to them as well, too, to try and see how much we can assist otherwise, and give them an experience, just to relax. It's a short time to get away from everything that's going on right now.
All right, great. And finally, we've been talking to you all this time. We didn't ask you where you were located and how people can get in contact with you.
Okay, I'm located in College Housing. That is just opposite where Avec and Bastia Heights area is. We have a Facebook page that you can go on to. And we have my number is 2933 or 661-2528, and I try to answer as quickly as I can, as promptly as I can. Not the midnight ones there, but I do answer as much as I can. And you can always contact our email, which is stressanzaj, the same name, one word, at gmail.com. And you can always meet me on the road and ask me anything, I'll answer.
Yeah.
What I normally do anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Heather. I know I won't hear the end of this from Kortensia, but thank you so much for reminding all of us. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Well, she'll probably send you to get your facials.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
All right, more Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, it's dear. Just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the counseling center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me
Let
go!
go what? Yeah, let's see what really happened. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
各位朋友，大家好. Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here. morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, SKN. Ciao, bango!
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Grief is a natural response to loss. It's the emotional suffering you feel when something or someone you love is taken away. Often, the pain of loss can feel overwhelming. You may experience all kinds of overwhelming and unexpected emotions, from shock or anger to disbelief, guilt, and profound sadness. In many cases, persons seek therapy to assist with their healing process and the management of their emotions. Today, for Good Morning SKN's Connections, we have one such individual who can assist us through our grieving process. Marita Tyrrell Mitchell hails from our Twin Island Federation and is currently based in Lawton, Oklahoma. She's a grief recovery method specialist. Marita commits herself to helping others explore any misunderstandings in their experience of loss. Today, we warmly welcome Marita Tyrrell Mitchell to Good Morning SKN.
Morning, welcome.
Hi, Marita, welcome. Good morning.
We're good, thanks.
We're great, and we're so honored to be talking with you about this topic, which I think some of us navigate sometimes without knowing exactly what to do. And although there might not be a rule book, obviously your training has informed how you help others get through their grief. So what is the grief recovery method?
Recovery method is about completing unfinished business in terms of a relationship or any change in a relationship. But before I talk about the grief recovery method, I also say that I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist as well, because that comes before the grief recovery method. So it's about completing what is unfinished in a relationship. Whether through death or whether it is a breakup.
Oh. So what led you on this path to becoming a specialist? And how long have you been practicing it?
Well, I've always had a passion for grief and loss. A lot of people think that I am out of my mind, because a lot of people find it very morbid, when it comes to dealing with those things. And I really enjoy helping people. I really enjoy helping them connect and find, like I said earlier, that incompleteness to what changes happen in their relationships or whether they've had a death. And I've been doing this for about 3 years, but I have been a therapist licensed for about 8 years.
It's fairly new.
So you have the experience. I'm just wondering, when you mentioned people saying that perhaps it's a morbid field, you know, for someone who's as vibrant as you are, Marita, I feel your energy, and I sense that you enjoy helping people indeed. How has that, let's say, helped you continue to be motivated to do what you do? Because grief is something that's very touchy, imagine.
One of the things that I like to tell people, I think sometimes we have this notion that when we're talking about grief and loss, it's only about losing someone through death, but there's about 40 other different kinds of losses. For instance, moving, that is a loss for some. A change of job, that is a loss for some. And I personally had many different losses that I had to work through. And so I was looking for a program that would meet my needs as well as meet my clients' needs as well. And some of the other programs I felt stuck in them. And I'm really passionate about helping my clients. I tell people, yes, I want to make a living, but I also want to see people, that, what do we call it? Their self-fulfillment or self-actualization, if they actually have the ability to.
Well, indeed, the work with your clients is important. What I gathered from what you said is, based on the number of losses, the different types of losses that there are, you actually painted a picture in my mind of perhaps dealing with younger clients, dealing with children who, for whatever reason, have to change their location. Maybe their parents change their jobs. Dealing with them when they're going through losses as well. Dealing with people going through divorce. If I can ask, what's your biggest takeaway from all of these seemingly different experiences as a professional and as a human being, first of all?
I think my biggest takeaway is that everyone is unique, and grief, like I tell a lot of people, it is hard. A lot of times we tend to intellectualize it, but it's really about the heart. And everyone is so different and so unique that I always tell my client, I don't know how you feel, and no one will ever know how you feel when you're going through a loss. What I can tell you is that I experience this myself, so I know what I feel, when I'm going through that loss. So everyone who comes to me, even though they're unique, I like to make them feel comfortable. I let them know that it's a journey that we're going on, and I'm not going to judge them. I'm just pretty much there to help them. And I think they like that reassurance, and they like, how I normalize things for them.
Yeah, that's very important indeed.
Do you cater to varying age groups?
I really start off age 12 and up.
So you said 12 and up?
12 and up, but I can see younger. But when you get into the field, when you're seasoned, you just have different groups that you like to work with. Me particular, I like to work with the elderly. My grandmother, when she passed away, she was 93 years old. I loved her to pieces. And I think she's just inspired me to work with the elders, because I think sometimes they're forgotten,
All right, Marita, we are going to take a brief break, but we'll be back to talk with you on the other side of it. Stay tuned, everyone.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit, and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom, but my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16 and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me know in that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. We are joined by Marita Terrell Mitchell, who is not only a grief recovery specialist, but also a trained family counselor. Marita, can you explain to us what exactly is family counseling and what are some of the more frequent concerns that you see?
With being a licensed family marriage therapist, I work within the context of the family. We believe in the family system, and it is, how should I put it? It is a growing segment of the counseling family. I see people who suffer from depression, anxiety, self-esteem issues. And I also see a lot of bereavement because no one likes touching that. And I just have a passion for it. But pretty much I see a lot of different diagnoses. Some that I am not too familiar with, I would pass them on to my colleagues or refer them out. But those are just some of the areas that I see.
Have you done any work in rehabilitation counseling, Marita?
In what?
Rehabilitation counseling.
No.
Okay. Well, moving on to my follow-up question or backup question. Are you involved in any online services? And if yes, do you have any clients in St. Kitts and Nevis or beyond?
Well, not at the moment. I'm just here in Lawton, Oklahoma, but I am looking to branch out and to offer services to people in the Federation. COVID has really changed the dynamics of the world and how we do things. And talking to a lot of people, I realized that there is a need for it. I'm trying to work out some logistics and get things into place, because one of the things that I remember telling a friend of mine is that this is what I do for a living, but I also want to accommodate people. I don't want it to be a financial burden for them. So in order for me to provide my living, I have to make it feasible for everyone and comfortable for me as well. So that's something that I'm working on. And hopefully I will be launching that soon.
Can't wait to see it.
Indeed. So when people talk to me, I tend to get emotionally attached to their issues. How do you refrain from becoming emotionally involved in your clients' cases?
Well, I think it's important for any therapist or counselors to have clear healthy boundaries. And I am a stickler for that. I leave work at work, and when I go to work begins. When I leave, it ends. But it doesn't mean that I don't have compassion and empathy for my clients. But in this type of work, we are human beings, and so we're connected through emotion. So it's very important for me to be grounded and to set those healthy boundaries with my client.
It's also important, going back to our discussion on loss earlier, is it also important to express to your clients that there is no set timeline for dealing with grief?
Yes, it is very important. And I'm glad that you brought that question up, because there's this saying that time heals all wounds. And I'm guilty of saying that. But with a grief recovery method, what we do know is that time doesn't heal all wounds, because we still have people who are grieving like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years in. What we say to them is about the steps that you take. It's about the things that you do that is going to help you to find completeness. So it's important for them to recognize that just by saying time healed all wounds, it's not.
And I'm aware that there are no real steps that you can say that would be applied to everyone as a one size fits all kind of say. But can you walk us through generally some of those steps of dealing with grief that would perhaps lead to healing?
Okay. So it is unique for everyone. So everyone who comes to me, I have to realize that their journey is unique. Even though I might have had another client that is dealing with an issue similar to what they're doing, I try to set clear boundaries to myself to help me to not put them into the same box. And so what I generally do is get a history of what is going on with them, and also about the person who they've lost. And most of the people that I've seen for grief recovery had to do with losing someone through death. And so I try to normalize their feelings, because one of the things that they hear a lot is a lot of intellectual statements. Oh, you know what? God needed this person to be in his garden, or they're in a better place. What we don't realize that while it may seem to be true, people are hurting and sometimes dismiss their feelings by saying that. So I try to be very careful with my wording. And I just make a plan around what they've given me. And at the end, we come up with a treatment plan on how I'm going to help them to find completeness. And one of the things that I share with them is this book.
Okay.
And this is a grief recovery handbook. And I tell people, once you start to read it, you won't want to put it down. I used to provide these books for my clients, but then it got really expensive because it was to bring them back. I love them so much that I never did, but that was so. And so I tell them, go onto Amazon, eBay, just buy it for cheap. And we go through that book, and there's a lot of tangible stuff. There's a lot of concrete stuff that we work on. So it is really hard work, and I let them know that from the beginning.
Well, speaking of work again, the work that you do is not only hard, but it's meaningful. And we want to thank you for taking the time to let us get a glimpse of what you do. And thank you so much, Marita. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
You're welcome.
All the best to you as well.
Thank you.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. We'll be back in a moment.
Good afternoon. And to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit today?
Good afternoon. After finding a lump, I visited the health center to see a nurse, and she found a lump as well. Doc, do you think this is the big C? I shouldn't have cancer. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Nobody in my family has ever had cancer. Slow down, not so fast. Not every lump of the breast is cancerous. The breast goes through a number of changes. It can be a piece of fatty tissue or some other non-cancerous lump of the breast. Either way, I'll have to examine you first to make sure. Okay. I did not know I was supposed to examine my breast myself.
Yes, the self-breast examination is very revealing. It is the first step in diagnosis. It is important to self-examine your breasts once monthly after you've had your period. That way, you would know how your normal healthy breasts feel and be able to detect any changes early. If any abnormality is detected, there are more defining tests such as the ultrasound and/or mammogram.
Mammogram? No, I've heard that mammogram thing hurts badly.
I'm sure that most of what you've heard about the mammograms are exaggerated encounters. Here's the referral. Take it to the facility. Before the exam begins, you will have to fill out a short pre-test questionnaire. Let the doctor know if there's a possibility of pregnancy. Leave jewelry at home and wear loose, comfortable clothing. Don't wear deodorant, talcum powder, or lotion under your arms or on your breasts, as these may appear on the mammogram and interfere with correct diagnosis. During the exam, each breast is compressed horizontally between two plates for imaging and then diagonally for further imaging as needed. So how was the experience?
It's not what I expected. My teenage sister found a lump in her breast. Should she get a mammogram too?
All lumps of the breast and changes should be investigated. A mammogram is recommended once a year for every woman aged 40 and over, even younger if there's a family history.
Oh, gee. Women have to endure a lot.
Men have to check their breasts too.
Yeah?
Yes, some men do get breast cancer too. So remember, get checked today. Early detection saves lives.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Thank you for sticking and staying with us as we continue along this morning. We have spoken with two professionals this morning, and when you think about a professional, the first thought that tends to come to mind might be, their work ethic. Well, it's now time for us to loosen up. As we do this, we will have a discussion centered around our work ethic and also our preferred working environment. So let us begin.
Before you begin, I gotta say, we're loosening up talking about work. Isn't that ironic?
I know, right?
Because normally when we're loosening, we're ditching work and we're going somewhere else. But anyway, I love the conversation.
We can loosen up with work too. We can
I'm
loosen
kidding,
up with
I'm
work
kidding.
too.
All right. Do you have a good work ethic?
I do.
Wow.
A very good work
Come on,
ethic.
give me the criteria.
I put myself into my work, regardless of what work it is. I throw myself into it. It doesn't have to be something that I love. Because I think when you give your best, as I normally say, you get your best. So it doesn't matter. I can be cleaning the bathrooms and I'll be happy. That's why in my next lifetime, when I come back, guess what I'm going to do? Own a cleaning company.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure you get the ledgers. Which drawer you need here.
So I'm going to be a professional cleaner.
You're gonna be a
With
professional
a great
cleaner.
work ethic, like Joya, I must say.
Aha. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a professional cleaner. You just reminded me of every bad movie that I've seen. Professional cleaner. With that being said, different meaning altogether.
I know. Sleeping with the fishes.
All right, so we're talking about work ethic. I think you and I share a similar work ethic. I can vouch for you that in the month that you've been here, which we missed yesterday, guys. Do you believe that? It's our month anniversary. Yesterday made 1 month since you've been hosting Good Morning SKN. So yes, in terms of your work ethic, I can vouch for that. I think we share similar work ethic because I definitely throw myself into my work. It becomes a little bit personal for me, especially if it's a new project.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get the hang of it. So it's like, okay, you can relax a little bit, take the pressure off. But yeah, those first few moments, definitely you want to make sure you give it your best. Are you an organized person or an avid scheduler?
I'm an organized person.
What's the difference?
However, recently I realized that time is trying me.
Wow.
I don't know why.
What
And I
time?
was good at time management, so I'm gotta pull it back onto
So
the
you're
belt.
wrestling with time.
Yeah.
Who's winning?
Time. But I'm gonna pull it back onto my belt. I'm the boss here, not you.
Ah, fair enough. All right,
Yeah.
bye. Listen, time is one thing that I've learned that you can't wrestle with. Planning definitely needs to be done. But with planning, I've learned that flexibility also needs to be considered because you shouldn't be too rigid in your plan so that you can allow for things to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like taking a detour on the road and I know, hey, I'm supposed to go this way, but then they put a detour, but I'm going to run through the detour sign because, hey, I'm supposed to go this way. You know what I mean?
But you spoke about scheduling. Do you schedule a lot of things? Because my schedule doesn't work out.
Listen, I don't have a schedule for myself. I wish I did. I tried it, and I've learned that that doesn't work. However, based on my current activities, scheduling has been done for me, and I have to adapt.
Oh, it's necessary for you now. Okay.
Yeah, it is so necessary, to be honest with you. And sometimes it's difficult to work through, but you got to get it done because you know what's at the other side of it, right?
So do you prefer working in an office or at home?
I'm a little bit of both, I would tell you that. And I don't think that my preference necessarily was to work in an office, although given my experiences, it would seem that way. I think I'm a little bit more of a creative, although I can do both things. So very interesting, and I'll confess this here. Those people who know me very well know this to be true. I actually prefer to work in the background, and I get propelled into the spotlight sometimes because it just happens that if there's an offer or anything like that, I feel compelled to do it because I say, you know what, there's nobody else who can do it the way that I can see it being done. But
So
it's
you
not like I'm
do
like,
yourself.
hey, let's bring the spotlight on, let's take that. Never. If I could switch it around, I'd probably be working in the background. What about you?
Background work? I'm somebody that has to be. I'm not background.
I move back.
No, but I think because service oriented and people oriented, I have to be in the front. You lock me away in the office, we're gonna have a problem. I am going to feel unfulfilled.
Really?
Yeah, I have to be dealing with people.
Wow.
Service.
Okay.
People.
I get you.
I can't serve in the background. That don't make no sense to me.
Well, I'll tell you,
understand?
I get you, but at the same time, this is what I've understood from experience. When you start getting into organizations in the way that they're structured, there are policy decisions that need to be made. And so the more experience you have, sometimes you're fit better based on your experience in the front lines, creating and informing that policy. And so here comes the office. Now, that doesn't mean that you should be disconnected at all because we've seen those instances where people are just on a certain level and then they don't have a clue what's going on. They're making policies that don't seem to make sense. But I think that if you go through that progression, then you would be better able to understand what needs to be done.
But nah, I was born to shine, so background doesn't work for me.
You were born to shine. All right, makeup. Just
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. So what gets you in the mood for work?
What gets me in the mood for work? Am I ever in the mood for work? I think showing up to work gets me in the mood for work. I can't say that I'm like, oh boy, we gotta go to work today. We gotta go to work today. Although, you know, based on the experience here at Studio 327, I kind of like that. It's like, yeah, we gotta go to work today. But before, it's like traditional stuff. You understand, you know, work needs to be fun. Work needs to be creative. And every day I get here and I see these faces that you guys don't see, and the way that they work so hard, that energy just gets transferred as well. So, honestly, right, you know. What about you?
Because I love what I do almost all the time, it's no easy for me. I'm just ready to go. I'm organized, I'm prepared, I'm ironed. It's work time. I wake up at 5. I may play a little in the bed in terms of, okay, I'll get up just now. But then I'm up and ready to go.
I tell you, this is a working class bit because I used to say, hey, you know what, at some point when we're talking about work, I'm going to get to a point where I realize it's probably more beneficial for me to have, and you triggered it when you said ironing, to have somebody who irons, to have somebody who does different things that I do as chores, because I'll be making more money per minute and I'll be losing if I actually do that myself. So when you're looking at it, sometimes it's like, yeah, you do that, and eventually you'll be like, but I need to be creative. I need to do this thing that's gonna, you know, result in something so great that I can't take time away from it by picking up my wardrobe or those sorts of
But then you'll be losing money in that sense, because then you have to pay everybody to, and then you miss it because
depends on how much you make.
Okay, what if, okay, so they burn your clothes on the other side, you didn't see, and then when you put it on, you're upset.
Listen, that's exactly why I typically don't take my clothes to the cleaners, but for a particular, honestly, there's this thing that they do, and they just press, and the button on the inside comes out on the front side. If you're dry cleaning, please no, and if you want to dry clean my clothes, you know where to find me. Do you listen to music when you work?
Only if I'm cleaning.
Only if you're cleaning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I'm journaling, I need quiet, so no music.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm one of those people. It's weird because I have periods, but when I was in the office, I would put my headphones in, and I swear to you, I would listen to YouTube nonstop. Thank God for internet. They made my life easy. It made my life easier on the job. I would listen to YouTube, sometimes classical music, sometimes not, and I'm working and I'm driving. I'm not distracted by the noise around me.
Wow.
So it worked. It worked at work.
But only for cleaning. I can't concentrate with music.
You can't concentrate
No,
with
not
music.
even to study, not to read.
Wow.
It bothers me.
I see. Okay, so it worked at work, and we're going to go back to work right now after this break. Don't go anywhere.
I'm here to say kids, Nevis, you don't know for us I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface of the places you go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mask up, furlough, sanitize, observe the protocols all about. Be wise. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Me family fitting boat, and you. Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Nevis Tourism Authority recently announced their panel of 2022 ambassadors, which are part of the destination's Tourism Ambassador Program. This program is a partnership formed with a select group of travel tastemakers, influencers, and journalists chosen exclusively for their familiarity with the island. We have the pleasure of connecting with one such individual today, Nakiva Marie, a proud Nevisian raised in Chicago. Nakiva Marie is an actor, dancer, and model currently residing in Los Angeles. Today, she joins us to tell us about her role as a Nevis Tourism Ambassador. Good morning, Nakiva, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, I must ask, when was your last trip to Nevis?
I had the pleasure of spending all of January 2022 in Nevis. So I left, I think, the island January 28th or so, not too long ago at all.
Okay, so we missed you. So the next time, just let me and Jamie will be over for a drink, okay?
Yes, sooner than later. For sure.
Oh, you don't know this. Kortensia asked that question of what's in your cup, and I see you dangling that cup for her, so we're going to find out a little.
Our first
Green tea.
Lovely, lovely.
Kortensia, you got your answer from the Nevis Tourism Ambassador.
I
Welcome,
did.
Kortensia.
Nevis really nice. So were you surprised when you found out that you were selected as a 2022 Nevis Tourism Ambassador, Nakiva?
I was very pleasantly surprised. It's something, honestly, when I was like in high school and college, I'd think about wanting to be like a cultural ambassador for the Caribbean, for Nevis, and something that I just had thrown to the back of my mind because I've been focusing on acting and dancing and modeling and all the things. So this call was very surprising, but I was cheesing from ear to ear as I am now and gladly accepted. So.
All right, so I have to ask, in terms of what you thought being a cultural ambassador would entail and what your role actually does involve, the little that you know so far perhaps, do the two meet?
Well, when I originally had thought about being a cultural ambassador, how far did I dig into that? I kind of thought that I would go through a more like political route with school, and I didn't choose that. So this role is definitely, it's not government based, so to speak, but however, it still has the same, I'd say, mission to bring the knowledge of Nevis like to the world and spread to everybody like how great Nevis is and keep everyone informed and just bridge that gap that there exists between, at least for me, from the States to the Caribbean and Nevis in particular. Like I still meet people on a daily basis. I have no idea what Nevis is. So, filling in that bubble and allowing myself a position to share the greatness that Nevis is and what I know about it is what it seems this position will offer. And allow me to do. And so, yeah, it does align, I think, of what I thought of when I was 16, wanting to be a cultural ambassador, just allowing myself to lean into my Caribbean heritage and share that with the world.
So is there a specific activity that you will do to undertake to help you in your new role?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Is there a specific activity that you will undertake to help you in your new role as ambassador? Yes.
There's not delegated activities per se, but personally, I mean, I'm a frequenter of Nevis. So anytime that I go down, I willingly share my trips on social media. So I think that social media is a huge tool right now in order to showcase the glory that Nevis is. So for me, I think that during my trips, I want to make sure that I'm creating content that spreads awareness and shows how special Nevis is, as well as creating as many collaborations I can with Nevis vendors and hotels and connects. I've already started to work out some things with even people abroad that are from Nevis, but also want to do business with Nevis, just to get that ball rolling and create more relationships and put those relationships like on the forefront. And there's so many, I don't want to give everything away yet, but there's a lot of ideas that I have buzzing that need to be fleshed out. Just more that can come to the island and that can attract more people to the island. And I think social media is the biggest tool from my standpoint in order to do that. Because people love to sit in their phones and scroll, and the more attractive you can make things, the more people will watch and like, oh, where is this? So that is kind of my angle on this. I'm not a traditional travel blogger, but I am an influencer, as one may say. I have other careers, but I have some type of influence, and but I also want it to be as organic as possible. And I think that organic advertising is what works the best these days, organic marketing. So genuinely what I would do, and like I would love to do, you know, when you do a takeover kind of thing and just showcase what I do on a trip to Nevis in a day, in 5 days, whatever it may be. There's so much to show. I'm like bubbling at the seams with everything that I could come up with. And I think it's a really attractive destination that people just don't know enough about. And I think the fact that it is so unknown is actually a good selling point, if you will, because people want to go to some place that they've never heard of, that their friends have never heard of. It has that whole exotic island appeal. And I hope it stays that way. And it's hard to, you know, boost tourism while also being like, well, we want to still keep it quaint. And again, this is my mission. I don't know what the overall mission is, but I personally like that it's not this overdeveloped island that everyone and their mom can go to all the time and floods the beaches, etc. So, you know, keeping it special, and it's kind of still a word of mouth thing, but it's like, if you know, you know. And I would like to tell you what you don't know.
It's almost like an exclusive club. Listening to you talk about it, it's like, if you know, you know, right? So only those who know, right? Will know. You're special if you know.
Yes.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Nikiva, but those were the easy questions so far. Here's the toughest one of the lot. And this is, in your opinion, what is or what are the best selling points of Nevis? Perhaps maybe even top 2, top 3 for you.
Well, I think I kind of started to touch on that. One, to me, the best selling point is that it's this unspoiled destination of like, it's such a rich island. You know, you can't go to any, I haven't been to every single island of the Caribbean, but I have been to a lot. And the fact that, you know, you can come to Nevis and you just feel how it's still so ingrained in its natural state. To see, you know, donkeys and monkeys and goats walking around, like that might be something that even in a vision might brush off, but it's actually a really cool thing, you know, for people that live in a metropolis. Like we don't see that kind of stuff on the regular, and it's amazing to like go back to that like natural state of living. And I'm a big hiker in Nevis, and the fact that they've been able to maintain like these lush rainforests, and it's just such an unspoiled island. So it's exciting to go somewhere to a Caribbean destination and really feel like you're immersed in this different way of living. So I think that is a huge attraction, and hopefully would not change ever. And that will bring people. I also think that, well, you know, I like the fact that there's not an abundance of chain hotels. That to me separates it from being the run-of-the-mill island. The boutique hotel feel is so cool to me. And I think that the people that at least are in my circles like to travel in that way. Luxury boutique is dope. Like that's the way to go these days. And if you can find a place to do that where other people haven't gone, that is exciting. The beaches I frequent all the time. And it's interesting because they're not, your white crystals beaches like in Anguilla or something because of the volcanic island, but they're still, again, untouched. And, I could go sit on Paradise Beach for hours and not see anybody. And that's amazing. And I think that it's just such a natural, unspoiled gem. It's like a hidden paradise.
It is. I love it.
Yeah. And so I hope it can stay that way. And then, I like the fact that there's only a few beach bars. And I know that this is like, well, how do we, if we want more people, we have to have more things. And it's really going to be important, I think, to find the balance between that, because you want to be able to keep your authenticity while attracting people.
That makes you a perfect fit because you seem to want to find that balance. That's great. Nikiva, we're going to take a break, but we'll be back in a moment to continue this very engaging discussion. More Good Morning SKN in a flash. Stay tuned.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by one of the 2022 Nevis ambassadors, Nikiva Marie. Before the break, we were discussing her role as an ambassador. At this point, we'd like to learn a bit more about her career and influence. So Nikiva, as I was saying before, I Googled you and I realized that you're a graduate from the Alvin Ailey School of Dance in New York. You have danced professionally. So can you tell us what was it like dancing at the Metropolitan Opera?
The Met Opera was, I think, the first professional job I had out of college. So I went to New York and went to the Fordham Ailey BFA program. Loved that experience. I owe it to all my dance abilities. And I went to the Metropolitan Opera, auditioned, got into one of the operas called Rigoletto. It was amazing to perform on such a renowned stage. I had never done an opera before. I'd never even seen an opera before. So that was all new to me. But you know, as a performer, the feeling you get performing in front of a live audience is close to none. Like, it's one thing to film and shoot pre-taping, et cetera, but when you are able to do things live like this, it's that much more of an adrenaline rush, and it's fun, and you feel like you're connecting with the audience. So it was really special. And I know that I'll look back on that and be like, wow, like such a random fact, but yes, I did that. Thank you for reminding me. Rigoletto, opera, Met, amazing time.
You're welcome.
All right, well, I'm gonna throw a few names out there because David Boy's Black Star, you've been a part of that video. You've also been part of the Spirit, Beyonce single, Spirit. So, big names here we're calling. Nikifa, what was that experience like?
Well, obviously, I think, as I was saying, the Beyonce experiences have been the most thrilling. My first time working with her was for Pretty Hurts. If you've seen, it's like a short video, music video, beautifully done. And I was part of that. And honestly, in the world, this entertainment world, dance world especially, it's all about the connection. So I stayed as close as I could to the people in charge, the choreographers and so forth. And I was able to continue to work with her. Post that, I did a lot of workshops. I did the Formation Super Bowl performance, and then most recently the Spirit video, which I think was 2020, maybe 2019. What year is this in life? And that was amazing as well. We shot out in the desert here in LA, though it looks like we're in Sahara of an African country. And she's always, you know, a dream to work with, the hardest working artist I've ever been around. So it's constantly inspiring. And she also brings the best of the best around her. So everyone has to level up. You know, you show up for work thinking that you might get the chop. So you got to be ready at all times. It forces you to be your best self every single day, be on point. But I like working in that environment. So I really enjoyed it. And I feel blessed to share the space with the Queen. And yeah, it afforded me a lot of really cool opportunities and great people that I still connected with. So hopefully there'll be more down the line. Never stop dancing.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So you see her work. She showed up to work.
She's so fangirling.
Gotta work to get the work. The work is the work is the work.
Yep. Nike, Balenciaga, and Adidas are just a few of the brand campaigns you have been involved in. What's the difference between a dance production versus the stage performance?
Like I said, the live dance performances, like a Super Bowl or a Metropolitan Opera moment, are adrenaline rushes like nobody's business. And, you know, you're working up so much for this one moment to just give it your all. So it's a very special experience. Takes a lot of training, a lot of mindset work, and it's really thrilling. I hope that I have the chance to perform live again sometime soon. These days, most of what I do is, you know, I just finished filming a TV show, Sherman Showcase Season 2, shameless plug, that I filmed that all of February, and, you know, that we're working every day, going live on the camera, but you can do, you know, 10 takes of something if need be. So it's just a little different, but you're able to polish your performance that much better. So I also enjoy that environment, and it's I feel like as an actor or a model, or even a dancer as well, you become an athlete because of the amount of reps that you have to do of these things. You know, I could be in a scene where I'm gushing tears and you have to do it 5 times and you need it from 5 different angles, or something didn't go right with lighting, et cetera. So it really also pushes your stamina when you're not going live, and when you're pre-taping something to later come out. It definitely pushes you to stay on your P's and Q's, and how many times can you do it that way, and how does it change and how does it get better? So I think both have great takeaways, and I enjoy both. But mixing the two, you know, doing a live performance here and then shooting something for a month over there is also, they're both great to me. And I hope I can continue to do both of them.
Let's talk about your acting career. We talked about your dance. You talked about the Met Opera performing their acting. Where you started, where you are now.
So I've been dancing my entire life. So that's something that I'll never stop, but it's not my forefront passion right now, I'd say. Acting is what gets me geared up and ready to go. It's my challenge. I feel like my passions have just led from one thing to the next. After the dancing, I started getting to modeling in New York. So I've been modeling for over 10 years. And that's something I stick in my back pocket too and plan to do forever as well. And then for the next challenge, I was like, you know, I want a voice on screen. It really came down to that. I was constantly getting asked in New York if I was an actor. I'm very talkative and can be quite charismatic. So I think that appeal was at gearing people towards asking me, like, are you an actor? Like, what is it that you do? So hearing that so many times, I was like, you know what, let me go hop into an acting class and see how I like this. I used to perform all the time in my living room, like musicals and whatnot. So I clearly had some interest in it. And upon starting classes, I got hooked. Like, I'd say first, second class in, doing exercises and going on camera, I was like, oh, this is fun. It was an adrenaline rush for me of like, ooh, I want to get better. And how do I turn it on when the camera comes on? And how do I become this character? And what can I give to this role? So it was really exciting for me, a new territory that I hadn't explored my whole life, like dancing. But as a dancer and a model, it prepared me so much, and I would never go back and do it any other way. The tools that I gained as a dancer, I feel so fortunate to have at this point in my acting career. My awareness of the body is, skyrockets through. And that has helped me so much when being on camera, like in ways that I would never even have imagined. And then as a model, just being able to show up, and again, that body awareness, knowing your angles, like all that is very important for these cameras that are always on you when shooting for TV and film as an actor. So they definitely, it's like everything was preparing me for the next thing. Yeah. And I just kept following the signals and trusting my intuition, and following the signs. And it got me to want to do the acting thing. I remember I booked a one-way flight in the middle of an acting class while in New York, because I was working so much that sometimes it's hard to get up and leave, the fast lane when everything was coming to me. I was modeling constantly. I was booking my dance jobs. I had agency representation in New York, but I knew that in order to up level, I needed to come to LA, where the bigger dance jobs, the bigger modeling jobs, the bigger acting jobs were. And I knew that I needed to immerse myself in that world in order to be seen and take my craft to the next level. So literally, kid you not, booked a one-way ticket on a lunch break in the middle of my acting class, because I knew I wasn't going to do it any other way. And I came to LA for what I thought was going to be like a 3-month trial, like a January to March kind of thing. But luckily, my agency in New York also had an LA office as a model and a dancer. So I was able to come out here and be sent out for jobs, ended up booking. I actually booked a pilot during pilot season in LA that year as the Flashdance girl, which was so iconic for me because I had been called that in high school and, growing up, like, ooh, like you remind me of the Flashdance girl and Jennifer Beal. And it was so cool to like it felt like a little wink from the universe, like, oh, here you go. Like, you should stay and you should do this more. So I stayed and I stayed and shot that. And I came back to New York just to bring more stuff back to LA. I started subletting my apartment in New York and making LA permanent for me. And I ended up fully moving a year later and just hit the ground running, put myself in drama school, put myself in comedy school. And I really respect the craft of any artist. And, we take years and years to perfect that. 10,000 hours a master. I truly believe in that. So the fact that I had been spending so much time as a dancer and a model, I also wanted to give that time to the craft of acting and respect, the same respect that I've given the other careers that I've pursued. So, and it really, like, the training for me is what gives me confidence. Like, I can walk into any dance room and feel confident because I've been doing it my whole life, or walk onto any set and show up and model whatever they give me because I've been doing it forever. So I really needed to find that confidence for myself as an actor, and it was only going to come from putting in the hours. And it's been a great journey. I've been able to book quite a few things. I just said that I came off my second season of Sherman Showcase, which should come out this fall. It's a sketch comedy. It's on Hulu. I'm not sure if St. Kitts Nevis gets Hulu, but I'm sure you can find it on the World Wide Web at some point. But yeah, so that was an amazing experience. And I just found out something else that's brewing, but I can't say yet, that I'll be going to film later this month. And I'm just letting the ball roll and seeing what projects come about. That's honestly what my life is. Between those three careers, like, there's very little planning that can be done. It's a whole lot of faith and courage and just going for it and knowing that it will work out and that what's for me won't pass me by.
Exactly.
I love it. Love the energy. In closing, Nikiva, we have roughly 30 seconds, and I hate to be putting an ambassador on the spot. Not sure what the etiquette is for that, but 30 seconds. What can you say to convince someone of why they should pay Nevis a visit?
Why they should pay? Oh, well, I do this all the time to my friends. Okay. Because, boom, it's a tiny island that you've never heard of or haven't been to. It has amazing beaches that you can sit at privately, even, with a friend, with a group, but you can also go to some beach that has different bars. You feel safe when you're there. There's rainforest you can hike, you can see monkeys, there's donkeys, goats, all this natural habitat around you. Great fruits and veggies go during mango season. I think they grow like 30 different types of mangoes. I need to check on that. You can immerse yourself in different music and cultural heritage. I love going during Culturama or during carnival time in St. Kitts. My family, David Friedman is my grandfather. My family still participates in all things masquerade. That's really cool to see. But yeah, go visit somewhere that you've never been and get a load of a whole new Caribbean culture, the authentic way. And Nevis is the best way to get that authentic taste of the West Indies. And it's the Queen of the Caribbean.
It is.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you sold me on Nevis. Thank you so much, Nikiva. I know Kortensia and I are going to be talking about this interview with you for a long time. It's a pleasure talking with you, and all the best to you. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, we'll do it again when I come.
Yeah, yes, we will.
More Good Morning SKN in a moment, everyone.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. Cause no man's alone, do what's right. Alright, cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to let it roll out.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't call me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me
Let
go!
go what? Yeah, let's see what we like. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. It's now time for us to let you know what is happening. Are you going to take the first one, Jamie?
Listen, based on the first one, I feel like we needed some sort of gimmick or we needed somebody to do a dance, but not you because your dance move is the kick. The first activity is Dance-A-Rise. You heard it right, Dance-A-Rise. The Rotary Club of St. Kitts and Rotary Club of Miami are working towards stomping out childhood obesity. All right, this is really interesting. To achieve this, they have collaborated on the Childhood Obesity Prevention Initiative. I love that. If I take the initials, I got a COP. It's like police, COP.
Yeah,
Childhood
exactly.
Obesity Initiative, right? Prevention Initiative. This will take place tomorrow, Thursday, 3rd March 2022 on the Frigate Bay lawn from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And children are welcome and adults too. Great. So take your child along and go. It's absolutely free. Obesity should no longer cling to our children. Yeah, you need to stomp it out. So support this initiative by the Rotary Clubs to end childhood obesity in St. Kitts and Nevis and Rotary District 7030. Awesome.
Oh, it's a dancer size.
Get the dancing shoes on.
Oh, so the next thing that's happening, a DoorDash. The Bank of Nevis Limited will be hosting another DoorDash, but this time it is the Nevis edition. Nevis nice and on the rise, just like us St. Kitts who are spies.
New tagline.
The event will take place at Best Buy Gingerland tomorrow at Thursday, the 3rd March 2022 at 5 p.m. All are invited to go out and see what the winners will take this year. For more information, contact the bank representative for more details at 469-5564 or 469-1153. The numbers once again are 469-5564 or 469-1153. Or send an email to info@thebankofnevis.com.
All right, so you've got to educate me here because this is a DoorDash. That means that you're spraying to the door and you get in and you get a prize.
That's what I'm wondering. Or first come, first serve.
Well, I don't know, but hey, prizes are being given away. If you know what a DoorDash is, dash to the door and get your prize.
Or literally take up the door and dash it. I don't know.
I don't think it's that.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
All right. So here's what else is happening. Wednesday night party. Can we say that? Yeah, party. All right. Elite Sports Bar and Grill located at the Lower Craddock Road in Nevis. Here we go with Nevis again. Nevis is nice. Presents a Wednesday night party. The event will take place, tonight at 9.
Yeah.
Music will be played by Greenhouse Band. It will be a cash bar only. Yeah. Take your money. All right, take your money. So if you're looking for, as we say colloquially, a lime night, go out to the Elite Sports Bar and Grill with your money and have a party this Wednesday at
Greenhouse
9
Band with
at
the
9
son
p.m. Oh,
of Mango.
we gotta perfect our rhyming skills. But anyway, you get the point.
Rappers soon. As we continue along, there will be an athletic sport meet. The Joycelyn Library Primary School presents its athletic sports meet. This is under the patronage of Mr. Colin Freeman Jr. and Miss Aurelia Wilkinson. The meet will take place at the Nevis Athletic Stadium. Plenty of things going on in Nevis.
You understand.
Yes? Tomorrow on Thursday, the 3rd of March, starting at 12:45 p.m. See the athletics of Red, Green, and Blue House reminds me of my school day as they compete for the Warren Moving Trophy. The entry fee for primary schoolers, just $3. 12 years and older, pay $5. Go out and support this sports meet.
I gotta ask you. Red, green, and blue. Were you even all three? Because you said it reminded you of your sports days. I'm like,
It reminds me of my time in school. No, I was orange. And that's still my favorite color until today. Go orange.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Orange.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the orange backdrop sometimes. I know what's going on here. There's somebody
working
talking
with
about
me.
something. I get it. All right. There you go. So it's almost that time, but we're going to recap the show. We had a great show today.
We did, indeed. We did,
a lot of energy.
indeed.
I love the guests that we interviewed.
We learned that soap alone doesn't always do it. With the lovely Heather Jacobs, now I really understand her extra fountain of youth.
Okay,
because she's ageless. She
That's
is
right.
ageless. Yeah.
Must be in the name as well. I love it. All
And
things
then
each
we
way.
spoke to the lovely Rita. I love her eyes. I love her necklace. When I Googled her, she had a nice hairstyle with the locks that I was asking her about. Yeah,
Guys,
so
I'm
I
getting
enjoy
scared
her.
because Kortensia might Google me next. She's used that word so many times today. Don't tell me what you find.
And,
Yes,
the,
indeed.
and the lovely Nakiva from Nevis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All great interviews. Awesome show.
Was
You know what? Yeah, you guys are looking for more content. You know where to find us. We have a lot of awesome shows on our social media platforms at Studio 327.
So follow us.
Yeah.
Facebook,
Twitter.
YouTube,
Where else? Snapchat,
Instagram.
TikTok. We're all over the place. You can find us using the handle at Studio327 Inc. Like, subscribe, and follow us. But I'm getting a prompt, I think, to remind our viewers to tell us, like Nakiva did.
Yes, with her transparent cup, and she told us what was in there. Green tea.
What's in
so even if your cup's not transparent, you can still take a photo over the cup and tell us what's in the cup. And don't forget to send in the sunset pictures as well. We're looking forward to these. We are begging you.
I don't know if that's convincing.
Send in
All right, I'm going to work on your ambassadorial skills. We'll see. Leave us a comment and tell us what topics and guests you'd like to see next. And this is the time when we say goodbye. But you know what? There's good news on the horizon. Shameless plug as well for the sunshine photos.
Yeah.
On the horizon, you'll see us at 8 a.m. tomorrow when you get to start your mornings
With us here at Good Morning SKN. Have a great day, guys.
Bye-bye.